To be honest, I wasn't expecting this bad weather, but it is what it is and we have to go on. Today we are testing Mazda Miata MX5, which is something I'd call a miracle, because this car is British roadster made in Japan for American market, which might sound, it doesn't make any sense, but it makes a lot of sense because Mazda Miata is here for more than 40 years, and today we have here the newest one. And in Homura you get some cool stuff like 4-piston Brembo brakes, which can stop this car unbelievably quick. And on the other side we have absolutely lovely BBS wheels, 17-inch, and they are amazing. But the best thing on Homura is inside in cockpit, and that might be Recaro seats, which are not big for everyone, but for me they are perfect. Under the bonnet we find Skyactiv G i4 2-liter engine, which produces about 135 kilowatts of power, which equals about 185 horses. Honestly, that might not sound as breathtaking as it is, because let's not forget, this little car weighs about 1100 kilograms, which is absolutely nothing. Honestly, I love the exterior, especially this part, because you might not see it from there, but from the driver's perspective it's absolutely stunning. And the rear looks like Jaguar F-Type, which is one of my favorite cars. But since it's raining, it's cold, let's get onto it. Welcome to Mazda Miata MX5, which is, I would say, unbelievable. It has 2-liter i4 engine, which has compression ratio 14:1, which is seen in gasoline cars because they have much less, and it makes sense because by increasing the compression ratio they managed to get 15% more power, which doesn't seem bad, and 15% better fuel efficiency, which also doesn't seem to be that bad. Biggest issue with increasing compression ratio is knocking that can occur, and Mazda find out that this issue is caused by heat, and to reduce heat they fitted 4-to-1 exhaust system, which means that you have 4 exhaust ports on engine, they get into 2 and then into 1, which means that there's no way the exhaust fumes could get back to the engine. We are currently sitting in a facelift, which means that it has more horsepower from 118 kilowatts to 135 kilowatts of power, which equals to 185 horses. Rear-wheel drive and a lot of fun, and by a lot of fun I mean unbelievable. It has only 1100 kilos, so to start drifting you just have to press a bit gas, clutch in, clutch out, and you are sideways. And the best thing, that in this car being sideways isn't scary at all. It's predictable, it's easy, and it's fun. Even I can do it, and I'm no drift king. It's easy, it's fun, and the last time I had this kind of fun I was sitting in Subaru BRZ or Toyota GT86, which is much closer to Mazda Miata than you might think. If you get into Mazda Miata MX5 and sit in these awesome Recaro seats, you'll find some incredible view which is made by this bonnet. How did they manage to make it this good? And when you're driving, you probably notice that your ass is in heaven, because these Recaro seats are something else. They are stiff enough, hard enough, and soft enough. I couldn't understand how they managed to get it so closely to perfection, so it means you can ride here for hours and hours and you won't be exhausted. And also you can get this one to track, and while steering you wouldn't be exiting your car, because in most cars, most roadsters, when you turn hard you're getting into the passenger position, which doesn't seem to be good while racing or driving fast. This one is still 6-speed manual, even in year 2024, which isn't really common anymore. And the way how the stick shift behaves, how it goes into gears, and when you're downshifting, it's great fun. And if you combine all these things, you can't just say anything bad. But it's still a car, and it's not only a toy car, which means you have to drive it daily, and dailying this one might be a bit harder because the trunk is incredibly small. The first version that we've tested had better opening, so you can get some stuff in there. This one has just hole on the top, and even the hole isn't that big. So if you're thinking that you might take this to your holiday, you can, but you would pack some shorts and your credit card, because nothing else would fit here. This car is so summer oriented that when it's cold, like today, you have no space where you could put your jacket. There's no space inside. And we've tested several roadsters and all have some space behind the seat. This has none. Which means if it's cold, you have to put it in your trunk and go inside, which doesn't seem reasonable at all. Honestly, I still don't understand how they managed to get the suspension working like this, because it's stiff enough, but not that stiff that by going into some hole you would lose all your teeth. And it's readable, and if you go into the corner, you know exactly where your wheels are, you know exactly what to do with gas, with brakes, and you're sitting in something you're one entity with, because the original Mazda Miata was based about being one with the car. And I've driven 60-70 cars this year, and I haven't had this feeling yet. And this is it. I can explain it further because it's just a feeling, but you feel that you are one with your Mazda, and that's worth really much. And how much? This one costs about 40 to 50 grand, which is too pricey for a small car like Miata, like really pricey. So if I would go in a Mazda Miata, I would be looking for a used one, which you can get for a half price. And even when you're getting not the facelift but the older one, you still have a lot of fun, because 118 kilowatts of power is still good enough. There's infotainment, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, everything you need to go through your normal day without any hesitation. And that's good. I love the way the look of the dash. In the middle there is absolutely massive rev counter. And it kind of says what will be important in this car, not the speed you're traveling, but the revs you are currently into. And with that, this one has rev limiter at 7,500, which is 700 more than pre-facelift, which had 6,800. And that is one of a hell difference. There's one thing that I don't like that much, and it's the pedal position, because I like to downshift with heel and toe. which is the technique when you're braking with your right foot and kicking gas while downshifting, which means that you are matching the speed of your transmission with the engine. It doesn't have any purpose in a year 24, but I like it. It's more drivable, it's more enjoyable, and the gas pedal is so much drowned in the pedal position, which means you cannot do it. Maybe you can, but it takes a lot of practice. This car isn't for everyone, and it never should have been. This car is for people that love to drive a sports car, and by that I mean on the limit of this car, because if you have something that has 600 horsepower, you just push your pedal to the metal and you're going fast, which is kind of illegal and it's dangerous. And to get something that has 600 horses to the limit is, I bet that I or you can do it properly. But this one, it's much easier, and you'll be probably having more fun, because when I'm going 100 kph, which is something about 60 miles per hour, I'm having fun, I'm having adrenaline, I think I'm driving fast, it's fun, it's enjoyable, and it's cool. And you don't have to drive it 200 miles per hour to feel anything. And that is something that I find attractive on cars nowadays. I have WRX STI, which has 330 horses. To feel anything in that, I have to go like 200 kilometers per hour, which isn't especially slow. But in this car I can go under the limit, under the legal limit, and still enjoy my ride, because this one is more close to kart than to any other car. It's small, maybe too small. It handles like hell. It's fun. It's fast. Not that fast. 0 to 60 in 6.8 seconds isn't really fast, but you'll feel you're going fast. It's something that we probably won't see much in the future, because everything should be electric, I guess. So, is it a good idea to buy one? And honestly, I would say yes. Get one.